before Monday, so I should be able to. It's just I end up screaming. So frustrating trying to get that cord out of there.
Right, that looks like we're live, I think. Let me just refresh it and see, because sometimes it takes a few seconds to catch up. No, I think we're live. Awesome. Can't see any chatters yet, but I'm sure they'll get here pretty soon.
You want to say something, KayKay? Like, hi and welcome to Cockatude, Cockatoos with Attitude.
Cockatude.
Yeah, he was a good boy getting his beak done last night, as usual. Takes a lot of time to do his nails. That's where your patience lies, is in doing his nails. The major thing that you're focused on is not hurting his beak, but that's not too difficult. He doesn't usually put his tongue out. That's the big problem with doing it. You've got to learn. You've got to have enough faith in the bird to get your thumb up there to stop their tongue. If you can't do that, you can't drummel a beak. You've got somebody who's got scissor beak like him. It's about once a week. So, okay, Cecil. Now, I think you're making a point. Are you making a point? Is that why you crawled up in front of me so I can't see him?
It's FaceTime, Miss Cecil. Oh, they're both good boys.
Cecil just walks up. I'm going to take over now. I'm going to be the one who's going to get your focus. Right? Yeah, you sure are a good bird, Cecil. Okay.
KayKay, good bird. Well, we have our first chatters here. We've got Falcon Sue, who says hi to KayKay. We have Erin, who's here. Hello, Erin. We have Jocelyn Triggle, who is in hospital with a kidney stone, so that's no fun. I'm sorry to hear that, Jocelyn. And we also have Bazia, who says, sorry, I missed on Monday, darned holiday. Yeah, you weren't the only one, Bazia, so don't worry.
Yeah, we don't call them holidays anymore. They're sale days in the United States.
And GTH42 is here as well. So hello to you.
Hey, GTH.
Erin says she loves the dual cameras, and I agree, it looks great.
You might go to triple if I can ever get that other camera from that rat's nest of wires. It's gonna take a while. Let's see. I'm gonna hit that. Yes, that's it.
Hello.
Hello. You made it.
Where you going there, Cecil bird? Let's see if I can get his. Let's see if I can get his beak in there. He just got his beak trimmed last night. Once a week affair with him. Now, trimming beaks is one of those things you only do if you have to. It's only if it's a danger to them, if they can't eat properly, that kind of thing. Otherwise, you leave them alone. But we think the reason they get scissor beak is because I'm trying to think of it. No, I'll say it that way. Some slimy breeder is in a hurry to feed all their birds and feeds them on the same side when they're young. And then that causes their beak to grow improperly. That seems to be the reason. We don't know for sure. But it's not something that for the weak of heart, I'm going to be putting up a video of doing his beak, but you should not do a bird's beak or even their toenails unless you've had an avian vet show you how to do it. I don't mean a bird store, I mean an avian vet. So show you the proper way. And with birds' nails, one of the things that if you see if I can get his nail up where you can see it. I've actually had people say, why do you leave them so long? It's actually when you go to a place to have, which I hope is a vet, if you're not doing it yourself, to have them trimmed, it will cut them too short. And the reason they do that is because if they cut them to the proper length, you'll be back next week to have them cut again. So it's, yeah, I hear you. So it's more of a sales thing than anything else. Basically, they're selling you on the idea that they can cut the nail and you can come back much later. If you go to an avian vet, they will generally cut them a little too short. I mean, it's not too short that's going to hurt the bird, but they'll have to be putting something on there, styptic, or there's a silver kind of a liquid they have they can put on to seal it. Where I try to clip them without any blood. So I keep them at about a 90-degree angle. And with this guy, the problem with the scissor beak, when it grows on one side higher than the other, and with his, it's at about a 45-degree angle, they can't eat properly. So, hey, that was me, not just a shirt. That was me, not just a shirt. And it's something that never goes away. There's no fix for it. It just grows improperly. In his case, his lower beak moves to the left, and that causes that part of the beak to rise up. So he gets that angle to it. Anyway, you're not going to let me show your beak, so he says, quit trying to show my beak. It looks fine today, kid.
It's a very nice beak. We like it.
And with Lucy, what happens is the bottom, they were messing with her beak at the place she was at animal hospital so that she wouldn't hurt any of their clients. They didn't want to get sued, which is not a good reason to do something, but it fits with capitalism in general. And it's all about the money. So her upper beak is too long, but I can't shorten it anymore without massive bleeding. So, but the lower part of it gets divots in it. This time it had 3 spikes to it. It had, it looked like it had 3 edges. The centerpiece was coming up, and then you had the 2 sides on the edge coming up. So it's really bizarre. All I had to do was trim out the middle section. Took about a minute to get that down. She's good about it. I got to watch her tongue, but of course I keep my finger in their beak. They're gentle creatures by nature. Let's see, with Sugar, it's the upper that grows too long, so that's all I have to trim on her. Most of the other birds, other than Cause, don't have any trims. Cause gets vampire teeth, which is what I call when they are you pulling your feathers out again? What are you doing? Oh,
Is that Jasmine?
Way in the back, it's Jasmine, yeah. And then, but the one who's pulling her, it's Snowball. It's got one of his.
Oh, it's Snowball.
Yeah, he's yanked that feather out. The problem is, I'm having with him is that I have to try to lower the dose a little bit because he's not eating enough. But now, obviously, I've lowered it too much because he's pulling a feather.
Oh, Snowball, that's not good.
The balancing act. He's lost about 40 grams, which is acceptable. It's about 7% of his body weight, but I'm not
Snowball,
sure.
you have to eat enough. Keep your strength up for frisbee time.
Although we'll lower the appetite for a few days, so I got to bring him up again at his next dose, but I'm hoping, and it doesn't seem to be affecting his behavior, except that he pulls out his feathers. It gets too low. He's at 0.12 right now. We're going to have to put him up to 0.15 again. He's still active. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say we have some questions backing up if you want some questions.
Sure.
Viewers. So the first one is from GTH, who wants to know about KayKay's beak. So he says, is the beak formed correctly and the jaw is misaligned, or does the beak / keratin grow crooked?
What happens is that we think it's from this misfeeding where they're using a hard plastic syringe to feed them on one side only. We think that's the reason it happens, but it's a jaw misalignment. And then what happens is that when they're grinding their beak, they grind down the side that isn't offset. And so that side gets too short and the other side gets too long. And that goes on forever. There's no way that I know of to fix that. I've not heard of any medical procedure to fix it. I'm sure if there was enough money to research it, they could find a way, but you know how that goes. Yeah, it's a jaw misalignment. And it causes the beak to grow improperly. Because when they go to sleep, you'll hear them grind their beaks. Well, if they're grinding only one side of their beak, the other side's gonna, it's gonna steeple.
So our next question is from Bezia, who says, "Do birds twitch because they want to nest?"
Twitch.
I guess by twitch she means vibrate.
That's usually when a female, if it's vibrate, that's when a female is ready for mating.
Yeah, maybe you can say a bit more about that, Bazia, because if you mean the specific thing by twitching, that would be cool if you can expand on that. And there's a question from Aditya who says, "Hi Dawn, hope you and the flock are fine. My question is it fine if cockatoos are rubbing on their mandible/ears?"
Say that again. I'm sorry.
It says, "Is rubbing cockatoos on their mandible/ears fine?" I guess whether we're doing it or if they're rubbing their own ears. Is it okay?
If you're doing that, it is kind of it is a mating behavior. If you don't do it much, if you make you're not doing it for more than a minute, I'm gonna put my ear better. If that works, you never know. Okay. It is a mating behavior. Now you can see I rub Sugar's beak quite frequently. It doesn't elicit any mating behavior. But if you start doing that with a bird and it's a male and you see their tails flare, then you probably need to shorten the duration and you don't do it that much. If it's a female and they start breeding, you don't want to do it. Again, it's one of those things that it's usually forbidden by most trainers. They'll say don't do it at all, but trainers do it. I'm doing it right now. Sugar, it's not going to get her emotionally stimulated. She likes to have her beak petted, but it doesn't mean she's going to start breeding. So depends on the bird. Watch the bird's actions. When in doubt and you've heard not to do it, don't do it until you learn why you're not supposed to do it.
Yeah. And we have some more people who have joined. So I said Aditya is here and Rosebud is here and Lisa is here. So hello all of you guys. Nice to see you.
Hi everybody.
And there's also a comment from GTH who says maybe the problem with scissorbeak could start in the egg if it's not rotated enough. Maybe.
That's a possibility. I haven't heard that theory, but we don't know. That's the thing. We're not sure. Well, we are sure one thing. We know that if the beak it's still soft, which it is, comes out, that you don't want to force it one or the other regularly. We know that. It's a while for the beak to become. So you do know that if you are improperly feeding it will cause that. Because it makes the jaw move to one side, and then they develop the scissor beak. You know it, but there may be other roots for it too. We know that the parents know what to change to move that. Incubators not so much, just on their timers.
Yeah, it's amazing how the parents know what to do.
So unlike humans, right? Parents actually know what to do with their babies. Doing, what are you doing, big boy?
So Bazia says that her pigeon flaps its wings and coos to her, which is very sweet. Whether it means the pigeon wants to mate, I don't know. I couldn't tell you because I don't know enough about pigeons. But it's real cute when they do that.
Yeah, that's each species is different. So
I know with pigeons, when the male wants to mate, he puffs up his neck and chases the female around. Because I've seen them do that, which is pretty funny.
I've tried that; it hasn't worked for me. So,
well, they look very goofy with their necks all big and puffed up, and then this funny little pigeon like strutting around, kind of going stomp, 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 stomp after this female pigeon who's obviously not interested. It's adorable.
yeah, some of the displays are pretty wild. Commander's displays are insane when he does them, but besides going in circles, he bounces his head up down and makes a bunch of sounds that sound like Tarzan. This is not unusual for what they call a Moluccan here in the United States. The Serum cockatoo. Umbrellas are more likely to, they do some strutting. They get their crest up and they start strutting around, put their wings out. You've seen Cecil do that. Right, Cecil?
That's very handsome, Cecil.
Cecil bird. Cecil bird.
Don't know how tritons display, but I think they just cause chaos. I think that's how they do it.
Well, I know how Bob does it. He makes this really high pitch. I don't think I can do it. He does this high pitched kind of like that, and then he spins upside down and he flaps his wings and he's climbing up and down the cage. That's how he does the display. But
very dramatic.
Pippa just gets her feathers out. She holds her feathers out all at once. And right, Pippa?
I just know or remember how Bob was when Pippa arrived. He was completely in love from the first moment, but Pippa was like, nope, no interest.
Didn't
and Bob really tried to show her his little nest, and he was such a sweetheart. I think he wanted to preen her and all that, kind of being a nice guy, but yeah, not with the Pip. Pip says nope.
No, she's definitely plans to be single the rest of her life.
So I am not sure. Maybe that was just Bob, but he was actually more behaved than usual when Pip arrived. But might be that tritons like to cause chaos, like, look what I did. And the females are like, yeah, that looks good.
I think that's probably it.
He did try hard for quite a while.
I bet I can imagine what Moluccan males do, like spin, 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 spin. Oh, let me knock on that tool for you. Knock, 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 knock. And now I knock on that trick. Knock, 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 knock. Can I tap something else for you?
Oh, they are funny.
I think they do tapping as mating reason.
Yeah, they seem to. Tapping and spinning.
Umbrellas will do tapping too. KayKay does a lot of tapping. Don't you, KayKay?
Tap, tap, tap. Good boy, KayKay.
Such a great.
KayKay bird. What are you doing down there, KayKay? I brought up a piece of paper towel just in case, because Cecil's been dive bombing me lately quite a bit, and so he's playing with it. And Pippa's preening. Cecil's got his homemade gum he's playing with. Sugar's just sitting there. I'll touch your tail. Try to get her attention. Nah, ain't gonna happen. That's funny, working on beaks, where I got my first experience working with a Dremel was cutting stones, doing jewelry work. So I got a feel for when you're cutting something with a Dremel, just how hard to go where it doesn't damage a stone. Working with something like obsidian, which you can fracture, it's like working on a glass. So I already had that skill, and then I just had to work with Dr. Young to develop the proper skill to do their beaks, figure out exactly which tool to use. It's a conical head that you use. But you having fun down there? I guess he is. Snowball. I didn't bring any frisbees over, but I might be able to get to one if Cecil will let me lean over. Sorry, Cecil.
Oh yeah, I love
just-
that comment by GTH. When tearing up your roof is mating behavior. The good old tritons.
Can only get to one, so I handed it to him because if I throw it and he misses, I'm not sure I can get up without disturbing the birds that are using me for roosting areas. Snowball.
So we have a comment from Aditya who says, it baffles me how Don manages to keep so many male twos together, especially when there are members like Bobaloo, a tiger trapped in a bird's body. Don't know if tiger is the right description for Bob. I think he just runs away.
If there's a cross between a tiger and a chicken, they aren't
I think-
aggressive to. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was about to say the same thing as you.
No. And they're not aggressive to each other naturally. It's because they weren't raised in the same flock. So you just have to let them slowly work themselves together. I mean, Cecil's preening. I have a video I just put up of Cecil preening KayKay. And that was a big success. It took a while. I mean, he's been here a few months to get him to allow someone to preen him. And now the next thing is to get him to preen someone else. But then again, he gets it perfect all the time. So harder for him. Same as it is with Lucy, that upper portion of her beak is just too long, so it's hard for her to preen. If I'd known I was going to be leaving Hill House, I might have taken her into Dr. Jenkins. Maybe a stay over to do that beak properly. I can keep it proper once it gets cut, but the problem is you could even just take the tip off of the beak and it can bleed. And I mean, it can bleed a lot. So you need to know what you're doing. I never trim to the point where there could be any bleeding on the beak, but You'd think it was just a hard old nail, but it isn't. It's got blood in it. So. Well, did you throw it away? Or did you just, he's looking at it like he didn't mean to drop it. You didn't mean to drop that snowball? Hmm? Did you mean to put it down there? Snowball? Snowball. Default. Yeah, it's funny with KayKay though. Oh, I took a 6-minute segment and sped it up 6 times. So it's six speed, showing how I have to try to cut his nails. And he's only got 6. He's missing the back 2. So cutting he just hates to have his nails cut. He will do everything in the world to stop you. He won't bite, but he'll do everything else. So it's kind of funny that video I'm going to put up. It'll be you'll see how funny it is when I do his nails. I have to get these. I have these special trimmers that they're round, unlike most that are the standard trimmers look quite a bit different than what I use. But I have to kind of keep moving them around and trying to get a nail to fall in by accident. Then I have to assess it quickly to see if it's too far up or if it's not enough. If it's not enough, it's okay. I can still clip it and come back again. But if it's too far up, I don't want to do it. I'm trying not to get them to bleed. I don't want him to bleed. No. Then I put the trimmers out for him to play with and be. Sometimes that helps. But with him, it's just a pastime for him. It doesn't really help. But I'll let him speak on the trimmers for a while. Then we go back to fighting to get another nail in there. And with Snowball, when I go to do his nails, he just puts his feet out one after the other. With Cecil, he puts his feet out one after the other. Cause takes her toes and curls them all up so they're hard to get to. So I try to do as much clipping while she still has her feet on the post. Can't get the back inner ones that way, but I can get the others. I saw that, Jazz. She's not mutilating anymore. She's back to normal behavior, but she's on 3 doses, 3 doses a day. Lower doses now. She's almost back to her baseline. So, what are you doing, Pip? Don't bother him. Peppa. 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 She was looking at Snowball. Peppa, those are his frisbees. Peppa. Look at the innocent look. Peppa. You playing all innocent with me over there? We all know you're not that innocent. Pippa. Pip, pip, pip. You hanging out under Steve over there, huh?
Oh, Pippa and Steve. A match made in heaven.
Pretty much. Yeah, with as difficult as it is to find avian vets, if you're doing a rescue or sanctuary with any kind of parrot, you need to learn how to do things like beak trims and nails, but you need to learn that from an avian vet. Because one mistake can be a disaster. Sometimes they'll try to stick their tongue into the Dremel, and you got something that's moving as fast as the Dremel head is moving. That can be a problem. If you don't have the Dremel in the head of it inserted properly, they can get their feathers caught in there. If they turn around fast, you can get their feathers caught, rip them out. And when you're doing beaks, you have the Dremel set pretty high. And you can use a battery Dremel. I call them a pet Dremel. You can use those if you have one or two birds, but you've got a lot of them. You need one like I have, which is a full-on Dremel. It plugs into the wall. Pippa. 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 Hey, Pippa, what are you doing? Pippa, she's bobbing the snowball. Pippa. Pip, Pip. Pippa.
To me, it looks like Sugar is playing statue because there's one camera facing at her
Yeah.
constantly, and now she's not playing. She's playing statue again because the camera is watching her.
Oh, my Sugar.
Yep. Pippa, you be good. She's playing with the wood.
Shuggy, can Sugar hear us?
No, I wasn't able to hear. I'll take my AirPods.
No problem.
I'll take these things out.
But then it doesn't make any sense to talk about that I was out and had some French fries, which I like to tell my Shuggy friend.
Okay, now she can hear you.
Shuggy, shug, 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 Shuggy, Shuggy bird. Hey, Shuggy, you know what? I had French fries today.
Oh, now you're making her jealous.
Yeah. I know the Sugar had one too this week, so.
Sugar bird.
GTH is commenting the yellow crest of cows. Yeah. The Tritons go with a warning sign on their head. Shug, shug. No way to get the Shuggy over, not even with French fry stories.
Yeah, she is not moving.
Nope.
Oh, she's even ignoring that. That's the I'll pet your beak signal.
Maybe she wants to nap. I think she knows the camera is only facing her at least 1 hour, so for that time she can nap and play statue bird. And later when the camera is off, she can come over and beg for beak pets and stuff like that.
Yes, KayKay.
Yeah, I think KayKay was more interested in the voices from the from the phone than actually Shuggy. KayKay, KayKay, good bird. KayKay, good bird.
KayKay, good bird.
Hi, KayKay.
KayKay, bird.
KayKay.
KayKay, bird. That's so cute. What a lovely little voice he has.
KayKay, can you say snowball? Does KayKay like the snowball?
KayKay doesn't know Snowball terribly well. Snowball doesn't come over to me unless everybody else.
But you told us, I think, that he said the name of Snowball.
Yeah, he does. He says Snowball. Don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's actually trying to get preened now.
Mm-hmm.
I think
So,
he's,
hey, Cecil. Bucket
preened.
buddy. Would you mind?
There's another question from Aditya. He says, are any of the flock members parent raised, and how do they differ from imprints, which I guess means human raised.
I don't believe any of these are parent raised, because they'd be more like birds if they were. Parent raised birds that are handled 20 minutes a day, as they did in that study up in University in Northern California, like a 5-year study. Parent raised birds that are handled 20 minutes a day by people they get along in both worlds. They're the most acclimated to being able to live in our world, although it's better, of course, if they don't. But and all these birds have issues that make them less than sane, put it that way, neurotic. There aren't many. I've heard there's a few breeders that do that, but actually let the parents raise them. But you've got to have a big aviary. You're talking something like 20 foot by 10 foot at least. And so that means it's going to be outside in most cases, and you either have to build a warehouse with heating and cooling and all that in it. Something to clean the air because they can't take their own dust, that kind of thing. And most people who are raising birds are not interested in the birds themselves. They're interested in making a profit. So I don't think any of these were parent raised.
Lorelei was done raised.
Mm.
Yeah, and then when she became an adult, she immediately started ripping her feathers out. I mean, she was flying. As soon as she was fledged, I taught her to fly. And I tried to give her the most bird-like environment. She had Chloe to act like her mom, but Chloe didn't know how to raise a bird anyway. But Chloe did act like her mother. But still, as soon as she reached sexual maturity, she started ripping her feathers out. That won't happen if they're raised in the wild. The only exceptions are the ones that were partially parent raised, and then the trees were cut down and they stole the babies. Like they do that in Indonesia.
Which might be sugar, but we're
Maybe.
not sure.
But they will still, they'll still mutilate because they didn't get, they missed important steps in their development. Yeah. Did you miss some steps in your development too, big boy? Did you?
Oh, you're
Oh,
a
yeah.
good boy there.
Males are not cuddly at all. No, they're not. Yeah. Dr. Jenkins and I were talking one time, just before I left, actually, one of my last visits. And I had mentioned that males being cuddly, says it's the curse of the species, because if they didn't like to be handled, most people wouldn't want them and they'd leave them in the wild. And he's got a point there. Now this one, I went through a lot, so I let him sit on me when he wants to, but he goes off and plays part of the day too. He was in a situation where he was handled a lot, so. And then his caretaker got sick and was in a VA facility. And then they had people coming over to just give him his medicine and take him out for short times. I don't know how much they took him out, but he certainly does crave the attention, don't you? You crave attention, huh? KayKay? KayKay bird? KayKay bird? That's something I heard in a bird store back before I learned how bad bird stores work. They were telling a doctor and his wife that they had a baby umbrella. They'll always be cuddly like that. it is in their nature to be cuddly, but if you don't know what you're doing, it's probably not going to be like that. And even if it is, it might turn them into a bird that attacks your significant other or the people who come over to see you. So you have to be careful. He's not like that. He's not showing any of those tendencies, but I got to watch him close that he doesn't start developing them. And if you start, this is the thing too, he's kind of hunching. When he starts to hunch, I like to pull my arm out. He's sitting on my arm because that's, even though it's not a mating behavior yet, it's like it's kind of getting there. So, right? My boy? Yeah? Okay. You agree with that? Do you? Okay, okay. Sugar, you gonna wake up over there?
Sugar, are you offended? We're not leaving you alone so you can have your well-deserved afternoon nap after being awake all morning.
Sugar bird.
It's tiring being awake all morning.
Yeah.
Pep, Pep, are you being good? Peppa? Be good down there. I think she's chewing on wood, but she's not terribly far from Snowball. He's become her latest obsession. Making sure he's not doing something she doesn't like, I think is what her focus is. Oh, yeah? Are you sure about that, KayKay? Yeah, you are? Okay. Sugar. Sugar. She's been tearing up her toys in her cage, though. Been a busy girl in there running around playing with foot toys and all that. Yes, I'm talking about you, Sugar Bird. She's been a busy bird. Bring her in here and she's just sitting. Lucy. It is, by next month, we should be able to get outside for some of these meetings. Right now, it's getting close to where I can take them out in the mornings, but this will be too late because it'll start to get warm in the afternoon. Yeah. Oh, you said yep. Did you? Okay. Well, you all look so exciting. Snowball, what are you doing over there? Pippa. Both I can just see where Pippa is sitting. I can't see what she's doing. The way her body's moving, I think she's chewing on the wood, but Snowball. Snowball? There's somewhere.
Snowball.
And it's Snowball gone again.
No, he's about a foot away from the Pippa. He's sitting on a frisbee, I believe. I can't see him from here. I can see his eye now. He's popped his head up because I called his name, but
Maybe he discovered that one can tunnel from one frisbee to the other, and now Pippa is interested.
Yeah. Hey, Kay, you're too cute. You know that? Yes, KayKay, good bird. It seemed that when KayKay first got here, he was afraid that he was going to be told not to do things and then pressured into doing things he didn't want to do, which doesn't happen. Doesn't happen now, does it? No. No. You work out deals. His deal is when we're done in here, when all the birds are put up, he gets to stay an extra 20 minutes. So, and then he can come over and sit. Usually come over and sit on me. Sometimes he'll play close to me. If I don't do that though, he will give me a little bit of, doesn't try to bite, but he acts like he's going to. He'll lunge at you. That hasn't happened in a long time, but it's because the agreement is he gets an extra 20 minutes. That's the way it works. And with Romeo, who doesn't like to come out of his cage, now he's starting to ask me in the morning to take him out. I went to give him his a little extra treat, peanut butter on a stick today after he'd had his medication, and he put his foot out. He's starting to do that more and more. He just wanted to be petted and picked up. So it's taken some time. All right, what's going on over there, you two? Pippa? 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 Pip? Hey, Pippa? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you lose your balance. What are you doing? What are you doing? She was getting, she's climbing up over here now. Pippa? What are you doing? Hi, little girl. Hello, Pip Pip. You're just fascinated by what the things that Cecil does with that frisbee, aren't you? It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. Pippa, what do you know? Pippa, no, leave him alone. Pippa, Pippa, Pippa. Hey, Pippa, Pippa.
Hello.
There's a snowbird. Snowbird. Snowball. Snowy snowbird. KayKay, good bird. Snowball. Snowball. Pippa. KayKay, good bird. That's right. KayKay, good bird.
KayKay, good bird.
Hi, KayKay, good bird. Good bird, KayKay. Yes. Hi, KayKay. Yes, KayKay, good boy. What you doing, Pip Pip? Snowball. They're all pretty quiet. Cecil's
We're all good buddies.
Cecil's over here preening. She's trying to get in a little trouble, though. Hey, leave him alone. I can tell when you're going to get in trouble. You get that look.
The Tritons just find trouble. That's what they do.
Yeah, I think since Bob is not with the live streams, sometimes Pip plays the Bob in the room.
Did you hear that, Pip? Did you hear that? Snowball, that's a strange place to fall asleep. Got his foot on a frisbee and he's just closing his eye. Now, Pippa's still got her eye on him. Pippa, what are you doing? Pip, 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 pip. As a point, if you do any editing, video editing of your own, there is a free app for an iPhone called LumaFusion. And if you're not using their music or any of their pictures, it's like I say, it's free. It allows you to do things like zoom in, zoom out. You can even set it so that you have, like, you can zoom out or zoom in slowly. So you can do the zooming feature in slow motion, that kind of stuff. It has titling and all that other stuff. So if you, when I'm doing any video editing in here, it's using LumaFusion, and I usually publish it with Premiere Rush. I'm going to add any music because I don't get flagged if I use them. They've got some kind of a deal with the gods at Google, so. It's really exciting in here today, isn't it, KayKay? Is it exciting in here today?
I love it when Snowball's sleeping on his frisbee. Shuggy's snoozing on her perch, and Jasmine is also snoozing back there on her high perch. Not even Cecil is bashing you.
No, it's pretty quiet in here. Probably won't be when the meeting's over, but once we end the stream, they'll probably decide it's time to mess with me.
KayKay. Probably 2 minutes before we stop the live stream, we can already see the birds stretching.
Oh, they know their routine.
As I said, umbrellas will hammer too.
Oh, my KayKay.
What did you say, KayKay?
I understood something with boy in it.
KayKay, good boy.
Maybe he tells Don that Don is a good boy. Maybe before we stop the meeting, we can talk a little bit what Manda is doing.
Manda.
I missed it too.
Yeah, well, I had to do his nails last night. I said, I need to do your nails. He hopped right on my hand, came back
Oh
here,
my,
let me
my,
do his
my.
nails. I go in there to take you into here, and he says, nope. I think what
Mm.
I'm going to do is put something down in that spot so that when he, maybe a frisbee or something, so when he goes down to hide to get away from me, when he doesn't want to come in here, he's going to run into something he doesn't like. The other way is to take the bottom grate out. It's really easy to slide it out. And if I try to get him to come to me and he runs down to the bottom of the cage, he'll flop right onto the paper and I can just pull the tray and take him. But I'm trying to get him to come in here when I just have Lorelei and KayKay in the room. But KayKay chased him when KayKay first got here because it doesn't matter who runs away, right? KayKay was like a cheetah, like, oh, I see something running, I've got to go catch it. But KayKay doesn't do that anymore. He's not going after the pink birds anymore or any bird that runs away. So, right, KayKay?
KayKay.
But Mander's weight is good. I did his nails. Everything else on him looks good. He's in good health. He's just got to think about coming back here when all these birds are in here. Well, Pippa will get on him. Babaloo gives him trouble. The two aunties don't care that much for him. Snowball doesn't. Snowball will bother him sometimes too. So I can just get him to come back here when Lorelei, who doesn't bother him, and KayKay's in here. I say I'm going to actually have to put something down there that keeps him from running away. But I'm not going to lie to him and say I'm going to do his nails either, because if I bring him back here after I've said that, he might not hop up when I tell him to do his nails. I don't want to tell him. I just don't. So he'll let me pet him. I can pet him in the cage, and if I spend 15 minutes petting him, he'll come out. But there's only so many times in the day. This one gets an extra 20 minutes. Bob has his half hour. Cos gets a half hour. Romeo gets an hour. Plus, they all get 3. That's most of my day. That's why I haven't been making as many videos as I'd like to. I'm trying to do them in here now, or take video when I'm doing something with a bird and then edit it in here. You can see why I can't always do that. My hand won't be too steady if I'm trying to edit right now. Yeah, you think that's funny? Okay.
KayKay, are you watching too much Woodpecker?
Oh, super cute, KayKay.
He's not hitting me that hard. It's not like it hurts or anything, but after a while, the area that he hits will go numb. And he's not getting territorial. He's not trying to build a nest or anything. He's not chasing other birds away. So again, he's not showing any of the signs that you would normally use to say, okay, we have to stop this behavior. What did you say? I actually don't think it's a mating behavior at this point. It's just something he likes to do. Because it's not eliciting those behaviors that are built in to go with that. He was doing this yesterday, and Cecil got on my lap, and he went over immediately to try to get Cecil to preen him. So, yes, Cecil. I said your name. I did. I said Cecil. Oh, figures my hands in front of the lens. I can turn the camera around. Oh, see, and it's about almost that time now. They're starting to get active now. Snowball's throwing a frisbee. Cecil's starting to do preening.
Yeah, they have a good sense of time. They know you've been on the phone for an hour, so you'll be stopping.
Mm.
Snowball. Yeah, Snowball probably had an injury when he was younger because he limps when he walks. He's always done it.
His old sports injury.
Yeah. But he has full use of the foot that he limps on. He limps on the foot he was just scratching the frisbee with. Don't you, big boy? Now he's watching KayKay because KayKay's beating my wrist. Hey, what,
Mm.
KayKay? Yeah.
KK's smashing that like button.
Mm.
Good boy, KK.
There you go. KayKay, I gotta look at my watch. Oh yeah, it's that time again, isn't it? It's time for the birds to get active because we're gonna end the live stream, right? Yeah. You can check us out on our link tree. It has links to most of the things that have something to do with us. And if you'd like to donate monthly, there's Patreon. That's patreon.com/Chloe Sanctuary. Help us pay the bills. Yeah, like your food bills. It would be one thing if I was just giving them pellets to eat, but they get their mash with pellets in it, and they get their birdie bread, and then they got to have their toys. Some birds eat a lot of toys. They chew up a lot of toys every month. I wonder who I'm talking about. Could I be talking about you? Yeah. KayKay bird.
That's right.
And Cecil does a pretty good job of that. Although lately he's been, unfortunately, sitting on a lot of toys. He's in the nesting mode, so he's not destroying as many toys as he usually does. Well, thank you all for being here. Right, Snowball?
And thank you for the live stream, Don.
And thank you, Amy and Eleanor, for your moderating skills. Because I can't see a thing without you. I'm blind. Basically, I need a white cane. That's what the optometrist at the VA said. And I said, well, I'm not eligible for glasses. And she said, when you're blind, we give you glasses. You want to say goodbye, Cecil? Cecil, you can say goodbye? Cecil.
Bye-bye, Cecil. Bye-bye.
No, and Cecil giving you the tail end of it. Okay, folks.